Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and we're here on the American Duchess on the Mississippi, and you can see it in the background. I'm with Ted Sykes, who's President and Chief Operating Officer of American Queen Steamboat Company, and this is Insider Travel Report.
Requires a lot of stairs, and so that's why we got elevators.
Now, Ted, here we are on the top deck of the American Duchess, which is your newest ship in the fleet. You launched it last August, and now it's running up and down the Mississippi and soon up beyond that. How's it going so far?
Fabulous. Like I say, we launched this vessel in August of last year, and it's a former gaming vessel that we just got rehabbed. Built another deck on top, built owner suites, built loft suites. We'll give you a tour of the loft suites. And since launch until now, as you can see, this is the beginning of 2018, and we are running 100% full.
Well, that's amazing for a new vessel like this, and it's a smaller vessel than you've had in the past. American Queen is a pretty large one. This only has 188 passengers, right?
It has 166.
166. I was wrong. 88 I got that wrong.
It has 83 suites,
right.
166 passengers,
right.
And it's single seating. So and we've got about 85 crew on here, so it's a pretty good service ratio.
And it's interesting because it is a paddle wheeler, but you sort of created it as a paddle wheeler, right?
Right. So we added the paddle wheeler. We added the paddle wheel to the after end. It's a long story. We bought a used paddle wheel, we refurbished it, reconditioned it. You can't just buy those on eBay.
Well, I thought you said that to me, we can't just buy it on eBay, but you found one and it looks wonderful.
And we extended the after end, and so the paddle wheel actually adds to the propulsion. It's not the primary like it is on the Queen, right. But we have the paddle wheel, we have Z drives, so it gives us maneuverability. It also gives us the feel of what is our trademark, which is pretty much the wedding cake style steamboat with a red paddle wheel on the after end.
No, and it does look great. It's and the biggest thing about this, the big difference here is space. Yeah. The space in the cabins, the space in the public areas. It's pretty amazing.
Right. We have so much volume. So we opted on the main deck, which is the public deck, to just use all that volume. So we have a show lounge. The show lounge has a ramped floor, so it's very handicapped accessible, and we've actually set the show lounge transverse to the vessel so that the entire capacity of the vessel, all the passengers can sit in there at once. We have a single show. The same with the dining room. We have a grand dining room.
And it is a two-story dining room, and you kind of built something in the middle, right?
So it's a two-story dining room, and similar to the American Queen, we actually built a mezzanine in, which we call the Lincoln Library. If the American Queen is Mississippi and Mark Twain, we opted to make this one more northern Mississippi, Illinois, and Lincoln, so it's the Lincoln Library. But the Lincoln Library is very elegant, and it's kind of a bonus space. We use that for groups and for the evening band sets, and there's a small bar in there, and all the game rooms in the library. It's similar to the Mark Twain Gallery. It's the Lincoln Library on this vessel.
Right, and you also have an alternative dining facility, which seems to be 3 meals a day. The River Club,
the River Grill and Terrace. Okay. So the grand dining room is pretty spectacular. We serve 3 meals a day in the grand dining room, but then the River Grill and Terrace is opened up for breakfast, omelet stations, a pretty fabulous buffet up there for breakfast, the same for lunch, and then the evening that the River Grill and Terrace has its own menu, and that's by reservation only, no charge. I mean, people go back and forth between the grand dining room and the River Grill and Terrace.
Yeah, and then that opens up to the stern of the ship where you have the paddle wheeler.
It opens up to the after end, and then in the summertime and when the weather's nice like it is today, we have barbecues out there, and people can look off, and watch the paddle wheel. And
yeah. Now you also have, unlike on the other ship, you have a river Lorian who tells you the history of the river, right?
Right, because people are interested in that, and there's a whole lot that's different on the river than on a deep sea vessel.
Right.
So the river Lorian explains all the terms of the river, explains a little bit the history and the culture, but mostly it's river focused. And then we have other enrichment that comes on for culture, for culinary, for historical, as far as the antebellum plantations, the Civil War, and all of that sort of stuff.
Now that is, you have, it's sort of, the excursions are similar to what American Queen does?
Yes. So we have, on this vessel, we have coaches that travel with us, coaches that are wrapped like this vessel, and the shore excursions are included for what we call the hop-on, hop-off. That's similar to the other vessels, because this is we like to sell this as a single. We don't like to nickel and dime the passengers, so we sell them with all included shore excursions, multiple dining options, beer and wine with dinner, all the espressos, cappuccinos, all that. We don't charge for any of that. So.
Yeah. No, and I saw, and you mentioned the space. We did talk briefly about you have like 3 owners' cabins, and actually there's one just below us here you can't see that has a wonderful, two actually there that have 2 wonderful terraces, and I am in, as we'll talk about later, a loft suite, right?
Right, so we have 3 owner suites on this vessel, and they're very large. They're like 560 square feet. And the loft suites, we have 4 loft suites upstairs, downstairs, and on the first level we have a sitting area, a couch that can be made into a full-size sleeper, and there's a bathroom with a shower on the first level, and then you go upstairs to the second level, and the second level has the bedroom. It has a full bathroom, all marbled out bath with a full bathtub, and then it also has the safe and the wardrobes and all of that up there. So
no, it's an amazing suite, and it's one of the largest, certainly the largest accommodation I've ever been in a river boat.
Yeah, and so the luxury suites, the owner's suites, the loft suites all have butler service as well, so they're tended. Your butler will do as much or as little as you like. He'll unpack your clothing, he will bring you breakfast in the morning, any special request, canapes in the afternoon. It's pretty full service. Well,
I love American Queen. It's really a wonderful experience, and here we are in American Duchess. It's a different experience. I mean, it's much larger accommodations, much larger public spaces. I was astounded at the size of it, and obviously a smaller passenger complement.
Right, and probably the biggest difference on this vessel versus our other vessels is that this is single seating. It's open seating, so people can dine when and where with whom they choose, and that's just a real luxury.
Yeah. Now, where are you going with this? Anything different than American Queen?
We pretty much, in the beginning and the end of the year, we run it opposing the American Queen, and that's mostly because if people have a preference on a certain week, they want to go northbound or southbound, but it's also to alleviate congestion in the ports. So we meet in the middle, we meet in Natchez. So right now we're going northbound, the American Queen's coming southbound. When we get into the summertime, we will use this vessel more to go up the Ohio. We will also go all the way up the Mississippi. We are doing 2 mighty Mississippis with this vessel, which is a 3-week. We have both a 3-week and a 2-week version of that. We have a downbound 2-week version. It's just different strokes for different folks, whatever they want. If they want this one, if they want the sort of the classic American Queen experience, this one's a little more genteel, a little more upscale.
And also the decor is much more, I hesitate to say European, but
it's less traditional, I would say. Yeah, it's very elegant. I mean, you can look for yourself, but the suites are wonderfully fitted out. The bathrooms are all marbled out.
It is an amazing thing. Well, Ted, thank you for filling us in. Thank you for inviting me on American Duchess. It's been a great experience so far, and we're not done yet. And we're actually going to be meeting the American Queen in Natchez very shortly, and that's going to be an experience in itself, I think, right?
Great. Thank you, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.